There are more than 500,000 bridges in the United States, and people rely on them every day to cross obstacles like streams, valleys, and railroad tracks. But do you know how they work? Do you know why some bridges are curved while others are straight? Engineers must consider many things when they're designing a bridge, like the distance that they have to span or the types of materials available to them. Then they can determine the size, shape, and overall look of a bridge. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a bridge that was built in Tacoma, Washington that actually fell, and they caught it on video. And since then, many engineers and mathematicians have studied this video to see things that they should not do in the correct way to engineer bridges. There's many bridges, but we're going to focus on 3 of them today: the beam bridge, the arch bridge, and the suspension bridge. The beam bridge consists of a horizontal beam supported by piers that go all the way to the ground, and sometimes deep into the water, into the ground beneath the water. The weight of the beam pushes straight down on the piers. The further apart the piers, the weaker the beam becomes. This is why beam bridges rarely span more than 250 feet. Okay, I wanted to demonstrate for you how a beam bridge gets weaker the further apart that the piers are. These books are representing the piers, and this ruler is representing the beams. So you can see how short this is. It can hold this little can, a bigger can, it's very strong, and even this giant can. All right, but if I move the piers apart, and make my bridge a little longer, you're gonna see it becomes a little bit weaker. Oh yeah, okay. Let's try the medium can. Oops. It's bending the bridge. Okay, so let's see what happens with the giant can. Oh, looks like it's almost about to break. You can only imagine what'll happen if I move it even further apart. This is why when you see beam bridges, they rarely span over 250 feet without a pier. Little can, ooh, even the little can is stressful. Medium. Kind of nervous. Okay. So that demonstrates the strength of a beam bridge, depending on how far apart the piers are. Okay, now we're going to talk about the arch bridge. The arch bridge has great natural strength. Thousands of years ago, Romans built arches out of stones. Arch bridges are based on the law of physics that for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. What it means in this case is the ground is pushing up on the stones, but then the very top middle stone, which is called the keystone, is pushing down on the other stones, oppositely and equally. But today, most arch bridges are made out of steel and concrete. Okay, so I want to show you how an arch bridge is basically built. Usually they have stones that are cut into kind of wedges and they just fit together. And what you're gonna find out is when you put in the very top piece, we call this the keystone, it actually pushes on the other stones. It pushes this way. And you could actually build one without even mortar or concrete. That's just that the force of nature supports the bridge. This is an example of an arch bridge of today made of steel and concrete. It can span up to 800 feet. That's like 3 football fields. This particular bridge is the West Virginia New River Gorge Bridge. It is the 4th longest single-span bridge in the world, 3,030 feet long and 876 feet high. The next bridge you're going to see is one that I've been on many times with my family. It's called the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge in New Mexico, 1,280 feet long, 2 300-foot approach spans, a 600-foot main center span, and it's breathtaking. It's time for the last bridge that I want to talk about, the suspension bridge. It can span up to 7,000 feet, way further than any other type of bridge. This is a bridge that I've been on in Vancouver, Canada. It is called the Capilano Suspension Bridge. It's a walking bridge, and it's really scary when you're out there because it kind of blows in the wind a little and twists and turns. But it was thrilling. Many of you are familiar with this bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge in California. It is in San Francisco, California, and it is tall enough for a cruise ship to go underneath. The waters below are very treacherous, and I hear that there are sharks in the water. But now I want to show you the video that I promised you about the bridge that fell. This bridge was in Tacoma, Washington. It was known as the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, but they nicknamed it Galloping Gertie because it seemed to gallop as the wind blew it until it fell down. Here you go.
The Tacoma Narrows Bridge, dedicated in 1940, was the pride of the Northwest. Then the 3rd longest suspension span that became known as Galloping Gertie as it swayed in the winds sweeping up Puget Sound. 4 months after it was opened, those winds sent the bridge into a rhythmic dance of death. It literally shook itself to pieces. Caught in the middle of the bridge was a Tacoma newspaperman. The bridge twists and sways in its death agony. Since its opening, engineers have studied ways to end its strange vibrations. They claim to be on the threshold of success, but too late. The reporter, Leonard Coatsworth, manages to fight his way to safety, most of the way on his hands and knees. He abandoned his car with a pet dog inside, the only life lost in the disaster. Giant cables are under stupendous strain as the great roadway of the bridge whips about like some fluttering ribbon. These pictures have been acclaimed as some of the greatest ever filmed. Here it goes. Of a $6.5 million dream. Theories were many, but the consensus was that the solid side railings were responsible. A twin bridge on the East Coast, New York's Whitestone, has side railings that allow the wind to blow through. A footnote to history. The bridge was torn down for scrap and a new one built, but Galloping Gertie will always be remembered.
If you look in the background on this picture of myself and my 2 daughters, you will see the new Tacoma Narrows Bridge that they built after Galloping Gertie fell down. Look closely at the sides of the bridge and you can see it has holes that the wind can go through. Therefore, it won't start galloping. Now, I'm going to challenge you to do your own engineering and build your own bridge. You're going to need to gather these supplies. You have 20 popsicle sticks that are in your bag of supplies. I need you to get 2 stacks of books that are the same height and a ruler. Okay, now it's your turn to engineer a bridge. What I've asked you to gather are 2 stacks of books, that are just about the same height. We want something pretty firm. If you wanted to use boxes of Kleenexes or something like that, that would work too. I want you to use your ruler and place these 10 inches apart from each other. You can get your parents to help you if you're not sure how to do that. Just 10 inches on a ruler. Now, your job is to take your 20 popsicle sticks that were in your kit and figure out a way to build a bridge across this gap. And we are not, in this case, using any kind of piers. We're not using any other objects. We are not using tape or glue. You only use these 20 popsicle sticks, and I want you to somehow figure out how to build a bridge that spans this gap. I don't want any of it to go below the top of the books. It is doable. Take as long as you want to do it. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you my solution, and hopefully you'll get to send me some pictures of your solutions. So go ahead and stop this video and try to build your bridge. After you get finished, there's a Zoom video that I've included in this lesson for you.
You were challenged to make a bridge out of chairs and cardboard. This is what you'd probably do.
You'd probably put the piece of cardboard in between the two chairs. This is called a beam bridge. But if I put a heavy stack of books on top of the cardboard, check out what would happen. Ready?
Oh, that's so cool. Here's how you can make your beam bridge stronger. Turn it into a suspension bridge.
First, take 2 pieces of rope, each about 9 feet long, and stretch them over the backs of the chairs, like this. There we go. The ropes should be above the cardboard, but between the 2 chairs.
Pull the ropes tight. Okay, ready? Yep. Now, bring 6 lengths of string from each rope to the cardboard and attach it down to the cardboard with duct tape. Okay. So just tape them down.
Little one.
There we go.
Okay. Now, test out your bridge. Put a stack of heavy books in the center of the cardboard. I think I'm going to put the books on one by one just to make sure. Ready, guys? Pull. Ooh, 1 fits nicely. 2.
3. Okay.
I got it.
Let's move it over.
Whoa, that's good. Yeah, I think if it's balanced.
There we go.
Should I try 4?
Try it. Try it. I don't think it's gonna.
Nope. Oh yeah, it works.
That's
wow.
all it's gonna hold. Here's why the suspension bridge was able to support more weight than the beam bridge. There's a lot of pulling and pushing going on.
The cardboard and the stack of books are pulling on the strings. The strings are pulling on the ropes, and the ropes are pushing down on the 2 chairs. So all the weight of the bridge and the stack of books are on the 2 chairs.
We can also feel the rope pulling on us. The pulling is called tension, and the pushing is called compression. Look what happens if we don't pull hard on the ropes. Okay, here, just a little bit. Oof. The rope sag, and the cardboard starts to bend. There's less tension on the rope now. But I bet that if we shorten those strings, the cardboard will come back to level again.
Okay, ready, Matt?
Yep.
Oh, yay, it's perfect again.
It's working. Yay, it actually worked. Perfectly straight.
Cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Hope you enjoyed those videos. As you can see from this picture, a bridge can be made out of just about anything. Now, as I promised, I'm going to show you the solution to my bridge made out of popsicle sticks. As you can see, I used some of the sticks to weigh down the end pieces. I'm sure that you discovered this on your own. Also, you might notice that my bridge is only 1 popsicle stick wide in the middle. Some of you may have tried to make yours a lot wider and you might have run out of sticks. So now that you've seen how I did it, why don't you try it again if you could not get yours to stay up? Hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Stay curious.